We are now ready to begin the Virginia portion of the press conference. I'd like to remind you one more time, please turn off all your cell phones. You're not allowed to videotape the press conference. You can take still photographs, but no flash photography, please. If you have a question, please raise your hand and wait until you have a microphone before you ask the question. We're going to go straight to questions for the student athletes. Questions for the student athletes. Let's go right here, Jeff.
Jeff White, VirginiaSports.com. Malcolm, in a game like this, do you sense the frustration? Did you sense the frustration level growing among the Memphis players as it became harder and harder for them to get what they wanted on offense?
I could. We talked about limiting their guards to only jump shots and not letting them penetrate the paint. And I think we did a good job of that starting from the beginning. And we could sense the frustration, them barking at each other just a little bit at the beginning. That we feed on that. We feed on it, and we use it as fuel to get us going even more defensively, and it leads into our offense.
Let's go in the front here.
Malcolm, you guys have played some of your most dominant stretches of basketball in some of the biggest games, Syracuse, Duke in the ACC title game. What was it about the atmosphere tonight that kind of brought that out of you?
I think we just knew we had to come into this game and establish ourselves from the beginning. I think Mike actually set the tone for us, offensively and defensively. I think when he can come out and be that physical and be that aggressive for us, it really ignites the entire team. But overall, I thought we executed really well on the offensive end, and I think we got the stops we needed on the defensive end.
Okay. Quinshawn, can you come here in the front row, the blue? And we'll go back.
Oh, hey, Malcolm. Whitey Reed with the Daily Progress in Charlottesville. We heard the last couple of days all about Memphis's quickness. What was the game plan against that? I mean, it didn't seem like they were blowing by you too much there. Just help defense as usual?
Yeah, I mean, we had to. It was about our pack line defense tonight, and I think we did a good job of establishing it from the beginning, and just letting them know that we weren't going to let them get into the paint that easy, and yeah.
We're going to go back here, and then we'll come up and get Doug.
Mike, Tobey, Frank Maloney, WRNL, Richmond, Virginia. Yesterday, you told me in the locker room that you had a terrible game on Friday. What happened tonight, your mindset, determination, that led to such a terrific line?
Just try to come out and be aggressive today. I knew this game was a big one for our team, and I don't know, just try to be more aggressive.
Let's go up front to Doug.
Mike or Malcolm, whoever wants to take it, can you talk about the crowd both nights? I'm sure you guys came out and realized that you had the majority of the fans.
I think the crowds, our fans, are huge for us. When you come out and you see all that orange and blue, it's exciting. I think we have really loyal fans, and of course, I think we have a deep fan base in North Carolina. So it was really great to see them out.
Yeah, it felt like almost a home game for us. Did that not work? I said it felt like almost a home game for us.
Other questions for the student athletes? Go right up front here, Quinshawn.
Andrew Rams, Packer, Charlottesville Daily Progress. Mike, take us through that three you hit at the end. I think it's only the fourth one of your career, and that kind of just sum up the night for this whole team.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that was money. I knew from the start. No, I'm just kidding. But I knew if I missed that, I was coming right out. So I just wanted to shoot a three.
Let's go back to Joe.
Mike, as a New York State resident, what are your thoughts on going to the Garden finally to play?
I'm really excited. I mean, I grew up there, and I never played in Madison Square Garden. I felt like I've always been one game short, and including last year. So I'm really excited to play there, and it's going to be an honor.
Quinshawn, the second row right there.
Mike, I saw your reaction when Evan threw that slam dunk. Have you ever seen him dunk it like that before in practice?
Ev's got the sneaky bounce. That's what we call it.
Back in front? Okay.
For the two of you, what's it mean to be the last ACC team standing in this tournament?
Malcolm, could you answer that first, please?
Yes, sir. It's an honor. We have a really great conference, a lot of really good teams, but to be the last one standing is huge. We're going to try to represent well. We come from a strong conference, but we're going to try to go in there and play our basketball and not really worry about anything else.
Mike, could you please comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Malcolm said, we play in a really good conference, and it's an honor to be the last one standing, so hopefully we can represent the conference well.
Any other questions? All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. You're excused. Congratulations. Good luck in New York. All right, let's go ahead. Second row there, third row, whichever row. Then the other.
Coach, before the season started, there was so much talk about the freedom of movement and how it's going to be emphasized, and it seemed like everyone thought that there would be games with a ton of fouls being called. But your team seems to be able to play physical and still not foul and be so effective. What are you teaching there that allows them to get into the positions that they are in to be so successful?
I think you said it. It's positioning. When we're doing it right, we're really work on positioning, not being extended and making them go through our bodies, play with our feet, not our hands, and really be off the ball in a help position, on the ball. We really work on that. And we had to adjust a little bit, and I was worried about that against this kind of quickness. But our guys have gotten a little better at, we always say, take pride in your slides. Really slide, spread out, again, slide wide, hands off, but know that you've got some built-in help. The thing we kept saying was this wall ball. We're going to play wall ball today. Build the wall wherever the ball is. Build a wall, because we had to do that the way they would, try to knife you. And I thought we struggled early. I thought their speed down the floor, we weren't sharp early. They got some transition buckets. We were a little out of sync, but once we adjusted and really got back and really set our defense, then we became much more effective.
We're going to come up one spot here.
Tony, given the pep talk you had to give at halftime the other night, how glad were you to see the guys come out and be together right from the start?
Yeah, I told Rachel I thought we were maybe we were a little tight to start that game, and Coastal played so well, early, but to establish that, we talked about coming right out of the blocks, hard and ready and playing bold. That was going to be real important, and then to make some shots, establish that lead. We said, can we keep it up? Because Memphis is the kind of team with their quickness, with their pressure, like they can get back in you in a hurry. And so we just talked about laying bodies on them with good screens, and certainly defensively continuing to make them play over the top of us.
Let's get Jeff here, then we'll come up front here for these two, and then back there for
Tony, at the press conference yesterday, I think you commented that you had better athletes, or the team was more athletic than sometimes people think. Does that work to your advantage sometimes if people think it's a plodding team, as I said?
Didn't you hear Mike? He said Evan's got sneaky bounce, so I guess that's what he was referring to. No, I do. I think we have – Coach Curtis has done a great job developing our guys, but we have some – again, athleticism is defined in different ways. We're a little more strong or powerful. We maybe aren't jet quick, but the way we play, trying to be in position, the sturdiness of our guys in their stance when they grab rebounds and go to the rim, those things show at times. And then, we got some guys who can get off the floor, and, Akil's as good of an athlete as anybody, and I think guys like Anthony are deceptive, and, you got the strength of Malcolm and Joe and certainly Justin, and then London is, he's just savvy. So whether we're elite athletic, I wouldn't say that, but I think they're athletic enough, and then when they put the soundness with it and the kind of the strength, that makes them solid.
Okay, let's go up front to Jerry first, and then get you.
Tony, can you just talk about how you guys exploited their defense? I mean, you got a lot of the shots you wanted, it looked like.
I think I think we made some outside shots, of course, and I thought our patience, our willingness to make the next pass, set a screen, another screen, run them off the baseline, just kind of trying to wear them down. And then when the opportunities were there, then we got some guys who can get to the lane, score inside. We just were balanced. And I thought as the game wore on, I thought we imposed a little bit of our will as far as just not letting them off the hook. They had a guard for a little bit longer maybe than they had last game. And I think it was probably an advantage. They played against mostly a 1-3-1 or a zone against George Washington. And I think, that we were ready. We played against a pretty hard-nosed man-to-man against Coastal, and I think that sometimes takes a little bit to adjust to it. So I think we caught a break there, but we were willing to be patient enough and try to tire them out.
Quinshon, let's go right back up front. Justin, can you go back to Viv for the next one?
Yeah, Tony, you guys obviously haven't been to the Sweet 16 since 1995 when, Jason was
Yeah.
way back then in his playing days. What does this mean to the program?
Yeah, well, we've tried. I think Malcolm alluded to it. I said, well, we finally got to New York. We tried in the preseason NIT last year and didn't quite do it. And then, obviously with the NIT, we got to the Final 8 or whatever you call that, and Iowa got us. We really wanted to go there. And then to be able to do it in the national tournament like this, that's special. And that's, from my playing days, that's one of my favorite arenas. I know you think highly of it too. But Madison Square Garden, to get there certainly and to play on the Sweet 16, we talked about that. I said, you get to the Sweet 16, that's the rarefied air of college basketball, and you're going to have to play. We know who's waiting, know how good they are, and it'll be us trying to test our game against one of the teams that's playing their best basketball right now.
We're going back in the middle to Viv.
Viv Bernstein, New York Times. I think it was brought up before that you're the last team standing in the ACC. And
Yeah.
I'm wondering what that means about how strong the ACC is, and then in turn how strong you are. It's kind of hard now to judge, right?
I mean, I think this tournament is so much about matchups. It really is. Our league was strong. It really was. Everybody can make their statements, but I'm just thankful we're standing. I don't know what it means about us. All I know is we're playing, and I'm thankful for that. And it's about matchups in this tournament. It really is. And I'm not saying we got great matchups, Coastal, certainly Memphis, but I wish more ACC teams were in it. But the league is better than just one team in the Sweet 16, and I know that's probably coming from a guy up here. It's good, and I promise you, next year it's going to be even better.
Quinshon, we need to go on the inside there.
Hey, Coach, George Willis from the New York Post. Could you give me the skinny on Mike and his development this year, and particularly how well he played tonight?
Mike, I think when he comes out assertive, like he was grabbing rebounds with two hands, knocked down a couple shots. He did that against Duke in the ACC Conference Tournament. That's really important for us. Mike's a real young second-year player. He really is young for his age. Maturity is such an important factor for him, physically, certainly mentally, and I think you see those flashes and those glimpses, and his size and length helps. But I think this offseason, as he gets stronger, that's going to help him. I think he's really coming, and but he's right. He was disappointed in his performance on Friday. It's a little inconsistent, and I think part of that's due to his age, his strength, but it's in there, and he's got a nice skill set. And again, as he gets more and more aggressive, I think there's some real nice things in store for him. But he's gotten better from when since he's arrived. Probably put on 35 pounds, if you can believe that. So all that stuff is going in the right direction. He played on the USA basketball team this summer, so he didn't get to have a lifting summer like you normally have. And I think it helped him in some ways to play, although he was banging with some of those big guys. But I think that'll be important this summer.
Can you go all the way to the back, Justin? Right there.
Hey, Coach. Chip Patterson, CBSSports.com. Could you talk a little bit about London's development throughout the year?
Yep.
He was a guy who Anthony actually identified as your eyes on the court, and I asked him if there was a certain time during the year when he thought that happened, and I want to know what you thought.
Everybody's been important, but I think, he just, even yesterday's game, Friday's game, we were a little wobbly, and he kind of kept us in there, and I didn't even look at his stat line today. 8 assists. Oh, I'm sorry, that's 8 points. 2 assists, 0 turnovers. He handles the ball a lot. And we got Malcolm Ken too, but he's been good. He's continued to improve. He's looking to score a little more, deceptively quick. Real important to see. He's a true freshman. To see him in these settings have the composure and the poise he does is, I think, rather remarkable. And I think we got a good one. I know we do, and so does everybody else is starting to see that.
Did you have a question? Okay, Jerry, you've got a question? All right, let's go up front.
A lot of your guys said the other day, or yesterday, I guess, that they were nervous, understandably, going into that first game.
Mm-hmm.
Did you sense that they were a little more calm, and were you a little more confident in just their psyche going in?
Yeah, I told our staff, I said, it feels like the game we're playing today, first of all, it feels like about a 2 o'clock in the afternoon game. You know, it was at 8:40 or 8:50, but that game was so late on Friday. And just starting the tournament, pregame jitters, that, you know, you hear all the 116 stuff. That does. It's real stuff. And the fact that Coastal played well, I think, made a difference. I think, yeah, I thought we'd be more established. We came and we got to have a shoot around today. And they had the right mindset. They were hungry to start, and they were hungry, but there is just something about getting through that first game and weathering, you know, the shaky times. And I thought that we did that. And I thought today, though, they had a different mindset. I really did. And so, yeah, whether it's confidence or just being more comfortable in the moment, but they established that. And watching us Friday, you definitely could see that there was some nerves there.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have, Coach. Thank you very much, and good luck in New York.